middle school for Belgium, number 4, Noel Coleman.
What up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm back again. I'm ready for my penultimate video of this 2022-23 University of Hawaii men's basketball season videos. I had to take a little bit of time to, as you could kind of tell, I had to take a little time before getting to this video because obviously it was senior night on Saturday night where the University of Hawaii took on UC Irvine for senior night. They actually had two home games. The other one was on Thursday against UC Riverside, a team that UH has had trouble getting 2 wins over. And I'll go ahead and say right now that both games ended in a split. Hawaii fell to UC Riverside by 2, 54-52, but they came back to win over UC Irvine 72-67 on senior night. And 3 seniors were honored with the hope that one of them could be coming back next year. I'll get into that shortly, but first, I want to acknowledge that I do have some B-roll that I took on my phone that you're going to see in this video. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't. If you like my videos, that's cool. If you like the B-roll that I took, that I even put on my channel as well, that's even better. And obviously, these two games, the first one was kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing again, but senior night against UC Irvine was certainly something to remember by. But we're going to start with the bad one first and get it out of the way. And anyway, that bad game was up first anyway. And that was against UC Riverside. And that turned out to be a game to forget. I'm going to say that right now. So as you can tell, I'm trying to get that stuff out of my throat because I took a little time because I was screaming at the top of my lungs from the stands, and especially since senior night, and that night was very, very electric. So anyway, as I said, we're gonna start with UC Riverside first, and as I said, that ended in a 54-52 decision with UC Riverside in front. So let's get started. Okay, UC Riverside. That was a game, that was a tale of 2 halves again, just like all season long. UH has had a case of Jekyll and Hyde first halves and Jekyll and Hyde second halves. They have a good first half and a bad second half, or bad first half, good second half. And quite often that's resulted in more games than I think we expected that got away from us. Cal State Fullerton being an example. Because we ended up losing both games to Fullerton on a night that we really should never have lost in the first place. But UC Riverside was just a game to forget, and that was a game that will make you say, how could you do that? Just how could you do that? Really? So first of all, as I said, it ended in a 54-52 decision with UC Riverside winning. And once again, it is back to the drawing board for trying to get 2 wins over UC Riverside. But obviously, UH played really well for the first, I would say first 27, maybe 30 minutes or so. But the final 10 minutes was where it all fell apart for the University of Hawaii. They were looking really, really good to finally check off that box of getting 2 wins over UC Riverside, because this was really the only, because UC Riverside is the only team that we've yet to get 2 wins over. And yet somehow something goes wrong. And that's what happened in that game on Thursday. On Thursday, February 23rd.
Oh.
Now, after the first half, UH was up 25-14 on UC Riverside. And they were completely out of sorts. But in the final 10 minutes, Riverside just kind of turned on the afterburners, and UH had no answer. Particularly their 2 lead scorers in Lachlan Olbrich and Zion Pullen. Zion Pullen, he had 18 in the second half for a total of 24. And Olbrich had a double-double. And I was mentioning in my live stream for the road game at Riverside that I was deducing that there was somebody on Riverside's squad that was generating points besides Zion Pullen. And it turned out I was right. It was that Lachlan Olbrich guy. So obviously, what kind of grade would I give them for the Riverside game? I would definitely have to say maybe between a C and a C minus, but I would probably lean towards a C minus because they coughed up a double-digit lead at the break. And really, when UH was up by that much, they had no excuses to lose, but it seemed like once Kamaka Hepa got an offensive foul on him, which was really a UC Riverside flop, which I think UCR got away with, that pretty much swung the momentum completely into Riverside's corner. And it seemed like from that point on, the whole team was playing extremely tentative. And as a result, Riverside took the lead. They didn't even hit a triple until the second half. They had only 3. And it turned out that they were 3 that hurt us the most. And they even took the lead on a triple. And but Bernardo da Silva led the way with 15 against Riverside. Kamaka Hepa had 14 and 8 boards, and as did Samuta Avea. And Samuta Avea is a guy that I was looking for a much better game than 2 points from him, at least scoring-wise anyway. Because although he had 8 rebounds, which ties him with Kamaka Hepa for the most, it still wasn't enough. And as a matter of fact, no one on UH had over 10 rebounds. Lachlan Olbrich was the only one who had on either team who had double-digit rebounds. He had 10 and 13 points. But still, it all really boiled down to, and they were doing well, UH was, to kind of salvage that win. And they probably would have sent it to overtime if that last bucket had gone. And but what really hurt UH the most is the fact that UC Riverside, they had 2 turnovers in the first half. UH had 5. In the second half, UH had 7 turnovers, and Riverside committed only 3 turnovers in the second half. And that was basically one of the differences there. But shooting, I wouldn't say was necessarily a problem. UH made 20 field goals out of 52. They were 4 for 15 from 3-point range. But still, it was just a matter of could they finish out? And they didn't. They had a 5-minute scoring lapse, which has kind of been the story all year, you know. At any time, it seems like they go through a lapse and nobody can hit a basket.
Yeah. Oh! Yeah!
So obviously, if they had won this game, they would be in first place right now. But unfortunately, it is how it is. So, am I placing any blame on the officials this time? Not really. I mean, I think it was totally on us. I think it was totally on UH because they could not finish out. They just had no answer for that for Zion Pullen. He had 24 points. And frankly, I thought we were well on our way to finally breaking this problem that we've had. And I've spoken with Coach Ganat in the past about why you can never get 2 wins over UC Riverside. And up until 16, I thought this was never a problem, but it turns out we've actually never gotten 2 wins over them before. But there was a time where UC Riverside won 3 straight home meetings over us through the years. And once again, they did it. And last year we didn't have a home meeting against UC Riverside because that game on New Year's Eve got canceled, or New Year's Day rather, got canceled because of COVID-19 concerns in the Riverside roster. But still, I'm saying this right now. UH had no excuse to blow a double-digit lead, but they did. And from what I could see, I don't think they were committing enough to finishing their own shots by themselves. But, I mean, yeah, it's a team thing. There's no I in team. I get that. I mean, I get it. There's no I in team, and sharing is caring. Yeah, that's true. But I think if you ask Coach Ganat about if he would be happy if somebody stepped up on his own and committed to his own basket instead of just hesitating and passing it around, he might be he might not mind it at all. And that's what I think cost UH the win against Cal State Fullerton. But then again, Fullerton had their own defense, had this in-your-face defense, and forced you to rely on the three-point shot. But as a result, UH fell to, I think it was 4th place in the standings with that loss to Riverside. And once again, as I said earlier, it is back to the drawing board to getting 2 wins over a team like Riverside. And I got to wonder what Coach Ganat is, if Eran Ganat is thinking, what do we got to do to get 2 wins over them? Because I know I asked him about this a couple years ago. He doesn't really know either. And that was for my UHM TV story on the basketball team rebuilding. But still, they demonstrated their resilience. But I still think they would have won that game if they didn't completely go cold around that 10-minute mark and that offensive foul and that cheap offensive foul on Kamakahepa cost them, which was really a UC Riverside flop. And I think Riverside got away with it. That's the only thing I'm blaming the refs on. Do I blame the loss completely on the refs? No. That was totally on us. That was totally on UH. It was just a matter of could they finish out, and they didn't. And that's frankly why I would give them a C grade for the Riverside game. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this out of my chest because, I mean, because like I said, as we get into UC Irvine, which was senior night, that was a sellout game. All 10,300 tickets were sold. And, I mean, there were some empty seats, but maybe there were some people who just couldn't find parking or anything. But anyway, UH found a way to get themselves back in contention with senior night against UC Irvine. And we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, UC Irvine. Now, first of all, I just want to say that I did think that we would win both Riverside and UC Irvine because we had home court advantage. And we were damn well on our way against Riverside when we folded. Thanks to that Kamaka Hepa offensive foul. And it wasn't really something that he was doing wrong, too. But anyway, UC Irvine. Holy freaking shit. That was an electric night from beginning to end. Now, as I mentioned, it ended in a 72-67 decision with UH in front. And of course, 3 seniors were honored. Samuta Avea, Kamaka Hepa, and Juan Munoz. Now, the word is that Munoz is petitioning to be back next season if he wants to. But so I'm kind of holding out a little bit of hope. Now, it is just a rumor. But obviously that was why they were honoring Munoz on this night. But, if he doesn't get to come back next season, I think that will be a complete injustice because I would sure hate for Juan Munoz to not have much of a tenure at UH because he came here last year. His season got wiped out because of knee surgery. And in the exhibition matchup against UH Hilo, he tore his Achilles tendon. And he had to leave the game early, and he's out for the season again. So, back to square one, basically. But still, I hope that Munoz will come back. I can't speak on the chances of him coming back. I don't know if he's coming back. Another person I don't know is also I'm not sure is coming back next season, is Noel Coleman. Because rumor has it, now don't quote me on this, but this may have been Noel Coleman's last game as a Rainbow Warrior. But I certainly hope not. And that's all I'm saying. So anyway, UH started out really well. They got out to a fast 6-1 start. Kind of got a little lackadaisical at some point in the first half, ended up losing the lead. But fortunately, they did not let UC Irvine out of sight. And as a result, Irvine did not pull a double-digit lead. The most that I remember was 7 points. And as I said, UH kept them in sight. I was very, very pleased with that. They proved they can compete against Irvine, and they did at their place a few years ago when we won this with only 3 buckets made in the second half. But this time, UH made more than 3 buckets in both halves. They made 9 in the first half and 11 in the second half. But they had a really battle for that one. And they were also shorthanded because for the first time this season, UH had to change up their starting lineup. And who got to start? The freshman, Seck. And it was his night, let me tell you. Why did he start? Bernardo da Silva was out with a sprained ankle, likely from the Riverside game. I forgot to mention that earlier. I'm hoping that Bernardo will be back for the road trip. We'll be ready. We'll be good to go on the road trip, I should say. But Seck got to start, and he took advantage of it, as I said.
Oh, nice.
Because he ended up with a double-double, 14 points and 16 rebounds. And that's the most that I can remember from a Rainbow Warrior, not since Vander Joachim back in 2011, I think, where he had 16 rebounds in a game after scoring only 5 points. But as you can see by some of the B-roll that I took, it was certainly more Seck's night. He even got 3 slam dunks. I got 2 of them right here that you're looking at right now. And I was very, very, very impressed with him, because if there was a time where the big fellas had to step up, this was the time to do it with Bernardo sideline for this game. Because another guy who came up big, Rouhliadeff, he had 10 points that night, and he even had a triple here that you're seeing right now. And Harry has certainly proven that if he didn't sit out a few games because of some injuries, he would certainly have been a key contributor. But so far, the whole season, they've had to rely on 4 guys, basically, and from their bench, and Cody Williams, Seck, Beon Riley, and Justice Jackson. And Seck was the guy who had to carry the torch with Bernardo out. And but in the second half was when things really got electric. And of course, playing in his final home game, Samuta Avea had to be the man of the hour when he made this triple to give Hawaiʻi the lead for the first time since early in the game in the first half. And from that point on, UH led throughout. I think there was about 10 minutes to go or so, but you'll see on the game clock.
Get it! Yes!
I think there might have been 10, 12 minutes to go. But after that, UH never trailed again. And fortunately, it could have gotten close, a little closer than normal. But UH made their free throws down the stretch, and they took UC Irvine out of their rhythm.
No! Yes!
And at the end, they honored Avea, who actually was in the same graduating class as me, because he's a 2022 graduate, just like me, from the University of Hawaiʻi. Of course, Kamaka Hepa graduating with a degree in marketing, I believe. And of course, Juan Munoz is a grad transfer.
Career games. He enjoyed a 2-year absence, but has ultimately worked his way back to the court this season, helping guide the Rainbow Warriors to their 6th straight winning season and a pair of preseason tournament titles. This senior graduated last May with a degree in sociology. Basketball fans, give it up one last time for the senior captain from Rouhliadeff.
forget what he's studying. But still, I definitely would give them an A for this game because their determination was certainly at an A level. And they certainly raised the roof on that sellout crowd. And to get 4 wins on a nationally televised audience, and I say 4 wins because if you recall, we had the Diamond Head Classic back in December, which the University of Hawaii won against Pepperdine, Washington State, and SMU off a Jovan McClanahan triple. So, do I think we'll win both of these road games? Sure as hell hope so. I think CSUN, they should be able to win that one. But they're going to have to play a lot better than they did at home, and certainly cover their bases, just like unlike Santa Barbara, where it came down to the final 5 seconds when AJ Mitchell made that layup that just disappointed everybody in the Stan Sheriff Center. So, and we're certainly due to win at Santa Barbara because last time we did that was the 2016 season. I know it seems like a long time, but we got to do something. And we would have done it last year if we didn't lose Noel Coleman. And up until senior night, we had not lost a starter. So obviously that had to bite a little bit. I'm going to say that right now. So I hope we can win over Santa Barbara and CSUN. And hopefully we can back up that second place prediction, even though those preseason predictions are historically inaccurate. So anyway, guys, that's it. You'll see some more of my B-roll just as we end this video. So for now, while I do a live stream on the final 2 games, I might do a 2-and-1. I might do live stream where I talk about both games and maybe even live stream during one of the games, maybe both. I'm not sure. Depends if I'm on it or not. But the Big West tournament, I don't know yet. If they win, maybe I will. Maybe I will do a video. But if they don't win, you probably won't see one. So anyway, you'll see some more of my B-roll just as we end this video. So, and I'm certainly hoping that my voice will recover. But for now, you're going to see some softball recap videos. And I do plan to go to some softball games. I said I was going to do that after basketball season was over. And it almost is. So I'll see you guys again. And hope you guys enjoyed this home season where I did these recap videos. Of course, I did do a couple live streams on the home games, basically because I didn't attend them. Davis and Cal Poly. But anyway, well, I'm a punter, everyone.
Yeah! Get it! Yes! Yes!
Set for Rouhliadeff. As one of the most anticipated recruits in recent history, he has lived up to the billing, starting every single game in his 2 years while serving as team home captain. One of the team's most versatile players, he scored a career-high 30 points earlier this year and has helped UH to a 20-win season. This senior will graduate this spring with a master's degree in finance. Basketball fans, put your hands together for the senior from Rouhliadeff, Alaska, score.